All right, thanks for joining me back with Middle Class Reactions. So I'm sure most of y'all have heard there's now some riots going on down in Los Angeles over ice raids, and they are they went from protests to riots pretty quick. Big shocker, not like we haven't seen that before. But now Trump has deployed the National Guard, 2,000 National Guard troops. I'll get into my thoughts on that later in this in this little video here. But I want to take a look at some of the video that's going on just to kind of preface it.
We're seeing new video showing the chaotic moments protesters and federal agents clashed across Los Angeles.
It marked the second day in a row of unrest as ICE raids continue. Explosive flashbangs and clouds of tear gas filled downtown LA last night as police declared an unlawful assembly. There also appears to be some looting at a convenience store in Compton. LAPD says they detained several people and eventually arrested 27.
And this comes as the National Guard troops that President Trump ordered have started to arrive.
Eyewitness News reporter Amanda Palacios joins us live from downtown Los Angeles with the breaking update. Amanda.
Good morning. Yeah, we've already seen a large growing National Guard presence here in downtown LA. If you take a look behind me here, you can see troops are stationed along Alameda Street as another protest is expected to take place later today near City Hall. This follows President Trump's deployment of 2,000 National Guard members in response to a series of immigration protests across the city. This is new video from overnight showing the troops arrive. They stopped at City Hall after driving through Paramount, then ended up here at the federal building. Meantime, this follows another night of protest. Video from last night shows tense moments in downtown LA as protesters clashed with police, some setting off fireworks and starting fires. Officers responded with what appeared to be tear gas to disperse the crowds. In a separate incident, demonstrators were seen entering a damaged convenience store in Compton and looting items from inside. According to the LAPD, multiple individuals who returned to the area after a dispersal order was issued on Alameda Street were detained and are expected to be booked for failure to disperse. We spoke with Mayor Bass about the deployment of the National Guard and believes it's not necessary.
My concern, and we have experienced civil unrest, and I remember 1992 very well, that one of the worst things you can do is have an extreme presence of law enforcement that gets everybody agitated and the violence actually escalates.
And today's protest is scheduled for 2 p.m. and the LAPD says officers and the National Guard will remain stationed in this area. Reporting in downtown LA, Amanda Palacios, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Okay, Amanda, thank you for the very latest on that this morning.
Okay, so first off, a lot of people criticizing the whole National Guard thing.
Presence of law enforcement.
The whole National Guard thing. I'm a fan of it. I think it's what needed to be done. We don't need another summer of love like we saw in 2020, and I think there's been way too much of the country that's gotten comfortable with like, oh, if we disagree with something, we're just going to riot and cause chaos in the streets. And I think that needs to be squashed out. So I am a fan of the National Guard. People are saying, oh, the military's getting deployed, which by statement is true. But it's the National Guard. National Guard. Whole point of them. That's what they're there for. And, when these quote-unquote protesters start trying to take over ICE buildings and do stuff like that, you enter into a different world of, you are... By definition, you are. Think about this. Yeah, by definition, you are doing small forms of domestic terrorism. That's what it is. Small forms. I'm not saying it's the same as bombing a cafe or something like that, but you are doing small forms of domestic terrorism, which is what terrorism is. What by definition, committing violence to gain religious or political gain. What are you doing when you're taking over a ICE building? Trying to get political gain. And they're straight up openly saying, we don't want ICE here. That's a political statement. It's domestic terrorism. That's what it is. So I think this needs to be squished because another thing, this is the first bigger event of the summer and the first bigger event of Trump's presidency. And when I say bigger event, I'm talking about like the first like a riot style event of his presidency. So this is going to set the precedent for what the summer's going to be. If this starts up and he immediately deploys the National Guard and just squishes it out, that'll set the precedent for, going into the summer. If he lets it fester for a week and a half or 2 weeks, like Gavin Newsom and Mayor Bass would let it happen, then, every time something happens, that's what's going to end up going down. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. I think today it'll come to a head. I think. Could be wrong. It's what I think. I'm gonna be keeping a close eye on this. So stay tuned. I'll be keeping a close eye to see what's going on with this. Thanks for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, do everything you need to, and I'll catch you later.